eject Delta P number 2.
Standing by for the handoff.
GO3. Or go. Copy.
And the handoff has occurred. Ground launch sequencer has handed off to Atlantis' onboard computers. 25 seconds.
Go. Yes, sir. That's a minute. We're going to continue.
Sound suppression water system is activated. 15 seconds and counting.
10 seconds.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7. Main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis to assemble the framework for the science laboratories of tomorrow.
Houston now controlling.
Houston Atlantis, roll program.
Roger, roll Atlantis.
Atlantis' roll maneuver is complete. The orbiter's in a heads down position on course for a 51.6 degree, 137 by 36 statute mile orbit. All systems in good shape. Engines throttling down as Atlantis prepares to maneuver through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere. Already 7 miles away from the Kennedy Space Center at an altitude of 5 miles.
Houston, Atlantis, go at throttle up.
Copy, Houston, go at throttle up.
1 minute, 10 seconds into the flight, the 3 liquid-fueled engines are back at full throttle. At liftoff, the fully fueled shuttle boosters and external tank weighed 4.5 million pounds. It now has burned half that liftoff weight in propellant. One minute, 30 seconds. All hydraulic systems in good shape. The electricity producing fuel cells also in excellent shape as Atlantis heads downrange, 18 miles from the Kennedy Space Center at an altitude of 18 miles. The next event is burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters, which are burning propellant at a rate of 11,000 pounds per second. SRB separation is confirmed 2 minutes, 15 seconds into the flight. Atlantis is traveling 3,000 miles per hour, downrange from the Kennedy Space Center 46 miles, altitude 35 miles. Ignition of the twin orbital maneuvering system engines on the tail of the orbiter, providing an additional boost toward ascent and heading off toward the International Space Station. Two minutes, 45 seconds into the flight.
Atlantis, 2-engine TOW.
Copy, 2-engine TOW.
Atlantis can reach Zaragoza in Spain in the event of a single engine failure. However, all 3 engines are continuing to perform as expected. Hydraulic systems in excellent shape, as are the fuel cells producing the electricity for the vehicle. 3 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. Atlantis is 97 miles downrange at an altitude of 51 miles, traveling 6,000 miles per hour. Views from the external tank camera looking down the vehicle. Very quiet here in mission control as the flight control team continues to watch over all systems, everything continuing to go very smoothly with Atlantis' voyage to the International Space Station. 3 minutes, 50 seconds into the flight.
Atlantis, negative return.
Roger, negative return.
Atlantis can no longer return to the Kennedy Space Center in the event of an engine failure, but all 3 are continuing to perform well, as are the hydraulic systems and the electricity producing fuel cells. 4 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. Atlantis is 175 miles downrange from the launch site at an altitude of 62 miles, now traveling 8,000 miles per hour. The twin orbital maneuvering system engines continue to provide an additional boost to Atlantis as it heads toward the International Space Station. That ohms assist should wrap up in the next 15 seconds or so. All continuing to go very smoothly with Atlantis' trip to the International Space Station. On board, Rick Sturckow in the forward left seat, Lee Archambault in the forward right seat, Pat Forrester, the flight engineer, between them. Steve Swanson serving as mission specialist number 2. Clay Anderson on his way to the International Space Station to replace Sonny Williams.
Atlantis, press to ATO.
Copy, Houston, press to ATO.
5 minutes, 30 seconds into the flight. Atlantis can reach orbit on 2 engines now, should one fail. However, all 3 are still performing as planned.
Atlantis, single engine, ops 3.
Copy, single engine, ops 3.
5 minutes, 55 seconds into the flight. Atlantis beginning to roll to a heads-up position, the onboard guidance system putting Atlantis on a trajectory toward the International Space Station.
Atlantis, single engine, Zaragoza 104.
Copy, single engine, Zaragoza 104.
And that call means that Atlantis can reach Zaragoza in Spain on 1 engine.
Press to MECO.
Copy, Houston, press to MECO.
And that call indicates Atlantis can reach a safe orbit on 2 engines now, all 3 continuing to perform as expected.
Your shutdown plan is nominal. You are go for the plus X, go for the pitch.
Copy, Houston, nominal shutdown, go for the plus X, go for the pitch.
The flow of fuel from the external tank into the 3 Space Shuttle main engines is equal to that of draining an average backyard swimming pool in 25 seconds.
Atlantis, single engine press 104.
Copy, Houston, single engine press.
And that call from Tony Antonelli here in Mission Control indicating Atlantis can reach orbit on 1 engine now should 2 fail. All 3 engines are still performing as expected, approaching 7 minutes, 30 seconds into the flight. Atlantis is traveling 19,000 miles per hour, downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, 640 miles, altitude 64 miles. Awaiting Atlantis' arrival, and with great anticipation, is the Expedition 15 crew. Aboard the International Space Station, Commander Fyodor Yurchikhin, Flight Engineer Oleg Kotov, and Flight Engineer Sonny Williams, who will come home aboard Atlantis after 6 months in space. Eight minutes into the flight, the engines are now throttling back to maintain the structural limits on the orbiter as it approaches loads near 3 times gravity. We're standing by for the main engine cutoff confirmation from the booster officer here in Mission Control. Main engine cutoff confirmed, 8 minutes 35 seconds into the flight. Separation of the fuel tank has also been confirmed. The crew handheld photography setup will be underway shortly with a plus X maneuver that's managed by the commander on board, Rick Sturckow. Atlantis following away. You can see the thruster jets firing as the orbiter is being maneuvered for the handheld photography.
Atlantis, Houston, we show a nominal MECO. OHMS 1 is not required.
Atlantis, roger. Holmes 1 not required.